Welcome as I play through Talavera from the gamers. I thought I'd give you an update now that I've started. I finally made it to Spain with the Duke, which is just what I was waiting for. Okay, so we've just started the first day of the battle. It starts about 3:30 in the afternoon. I'm now to the about to start the 4:30 turn, so I thought I'd give you a rundown of what's happening. At the moment, there aren't a lot of French forces on the board, so it'll be a quick little run through of what's going on with the French, and then I'll take you for a tour of the Allied forces, the Anglo-Allied army, the English, and the Spanish. So, right down here in the bottom corner, we have where the French entered. Here they are. This is part of the French forces here who have come onto the board under La Peace, and they're under orders to capture Casa de Salinas, which is here, currently being held by some English skirmishers. Now they've been slowly pushing forward. They've run into a little bit of trouble. Mackenzie here with the 3rd Division has taken defend in place orders, which you can do automatically, so he's just stopped there in the tree line, holding that line and forcing the French to try and push him out. Back here we've got Payne and some of the English cavalry who have been tasked with helping protect the English line. They've done one charge. Didn't do so well for them. English cavalry are really hard to recall. Under the new 3.0 rules, infantry automatically form square, which means you don't have this dice off to see if the infantry will form square or not. It's pretty much an assumption that they will. And then you decide whether the cavalry will stop their charge or will go ahead with it. Unfortunately, the English are more likely to keep charging. I think it was the Duke of Wellington who described the English cavalry as charging at everything in sight while they were in Spain and in the Waterloo campaign. He didn't really rate his cavalry commanders very highly. But anyway, we have Payne down here. And yes, they've done one charge, didn't go so well for them, so they're sitting here waiting to see what else they can do. Just behind them, we have some reduced skirmishers who got pushed out by La Peace and have fled back here. La Peace was shaken, but thanks to the fire from the rifle-armed skirmishers here, they've been flipped to disorganised, and they're going to have a real hard time now forcing. They may actually have to withdraw a little bit to try and recover some of their composure, or maybe let the artillery here move up, start trying to bombard the English. I'm not sure. The rest of the corps, the rest of 1st Corps will enter here, and their orders are to keep pushing down here. This is Victor, who's in charge of 1st Corps. Under his own initiative, has decided to keep attacking towards Talavera, which is all the way down here. Now, Victor and the overall French commander, who's King Joseph, Napoleon's brother, do not get on. So a lot of the time is spent the two of them arguing over orders. The command situation for the French is quite annoying and difficult. But then again, the English have their own problems as well. So anyway, that's what the French have managed to accomplish so far. There's 2 victory points for capturing Casa de Salinas, and that's some other victory point hexes. We've got the Duke here, or Wellesley as he probably was at this stage, wasn't the Duke of Wellington. He's got 1 victory point for holding these crossroads. You get 3 victory points for every hex inside the Talavera city walls you control. There's victory points on offer here at the Piar de Vergara. Piar de Vergara is 3 points for that sort of fort. The Cerro de Medellin gives you 5 victory points for the 3 hexes you control. There's 1 victory point over here for the T intersection. And the Cerro de Casial gives you 2 victory points up here. So the French are coming on along the bottom here So that's one of the French entry hexes, and the other one is down here, a bit closer to Talavera on the Madrid road. And most of the victory hexes are right up here. So we'll see how that goes. Now over here we've got the Spanish army. They're nominally under control of the Duke of Wellington, well, Wellesley, but there's some tricky little command problems as well. So there's the commander of the army, Cuesta. Can't see him. There he is, Cuesta. Now the Duke can borrow Spanish divisions, but to borrow a Spanish division he has to send an order to the commander of the Spanish division that he wants to borrow and the overall commander. And the overall commander has to accept the orders as well as the Spanish commander, and then the Duke can borrow them. And the more he borrows, the harder it is to get the Spanish to accept his orders. So he doesn't want to dip into that too much. Sort of want to leave the Spanish to do their own thing. The problem is the Spanish have some big forces, but they've got really bad morale, C's and D's and E's, which is the lowest I think you can get. They're levy troops, like up here, E's, D's and C's. And there's a couple of better troops. There's a B there, but really not as the morale is quite low. Can't really rely on them too much, but you still need them because the French are going to be coming in from here, straight up this road, bang. Not going to be much trouble to start pushing towards Talavera. Touring the British lines, like I said, you've got Wellesley there by himself, though he'll have to move probably eventually once the French start coming in on force. You've got 4th Division here under Campbell. Their orders are to protect the terrain near the Pau de Vergara to the north, which is here. You've got this English cavalry just sitting here. They're under no orders, and they're not in command. They're just stuck there at the moment. You might have to get... You can... Wellesley's a very hands-on commander, so you can send him off around the battlefield to take command of divisions and units, and then use his initiative and stuff to start throwing them around. We've got Hill up here with the 2nd Division. Hill's tasked with defending the Cerro de Medellin. His other units are just about to move up. It's quite hilly terrain. As you'll have noticed, unlike Marengo, we do have lots of ups and downs. This is not flat by any stretch of the imagination. Most of the land is sloping up towards the top of the map, but there's still some heavily sloped areas around here as well. And here's 1st Division under Sherbrooke. So they're moving up along this road, but what they're going to do is come back down this side and set up in front of the Cerro de Medellin. Their job is to defend up here. But they're following the road up and down. It's the quickest way to get there, probably, rather than trying to cut across all the tough terrain. We'll come back down here. So yeah, once Victor gets on board, we might be able to start forcing this attack a bit further. But the French are sort of a bit stuck up against the British here. Next turn we start rolling for troops to come in down here. So what happens is on the first turn they arrive, they have to roll a 1 to enter. Second turn they have to roll a 1 or a 2, and that keeps going. So on the 6th turn, after they could enter, they automatically enter. And that happens with all the French troops. So you don't quite know when the French are going to arrive. And but they will slowly trickle onto the map. There's some rules to do with nighttime, because of course there will be nighttime. This battle does go over 2 days. Most of the action happening on the 2nd day, once the 2 armies had actually arrived and formed up. So we'll see what that's like. One thing I'm learning about this system is patience. Don't attack until you've got all your forces assembled. And don't, don't try and rush things. This little attack has been developing only because these are the troops that have been tasked with capturing this Casa de Salinas. So that's why I'm forcing this attack a bit more than I would. Once Victor gets on, I'm not probably going to use the rest of his troops. They're going to hang back. It's their job to push past down further towards Talavera and let them and let these guys deal with this little localized incident. At some point, I suppose the English are probably going to tell Mackenzie will have an orderly withdrawal and start pulling back. Where I actually want him to be, I'm probably wanting to withdraw maybe up to where Wellesley is, up here at the crossroads. Start defending these victory locations. Let the French have the 2 points and fall back a bit and save themselves for the next day's battle. Most of the losses at the moment have been taken by the French, so that's what the English want: the French to lose out on that side of things. Here's the rest of the French forces waiting to come on. So you've got King Joseph up there. You've got the rest of First Corps, Victor's First Corps. You've got Sebastiani and Fourth Corps. He's also commanding the 1st Division of Fourth Corps. Ney was meant to be in command of Fourth Corps, but for some reason took his time getting here. So this battle happened weeks after he was made commander of Fourth Corps, but he still hadn't actually made it from wherever he was in Spain to here. So Sebastiani was doing double duty. There is an optional rule, so you can have Ney in command, but I thought I'd go with the historical thing before we start mucking around with options. And there's a couple of cavalry stuff down here as well. So you've got some cavalry here, some dragoons, some more dragoons. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Get back to the battle and we'll see how things develop.